Good morning and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. Happy Saturday, everybody. It is match day. It's the big one, 3 o'clock kickoff, Manchester United versus Bournemouth. But before, obviously, we get to watch that, we have got a massive show to bring you guys this morning. I do want to ask one favour, though. Before we start the video, could everybody watching please smash a like on the video? Please subscribe to the channel. We're only 25 subscribers away from 21,000. So please do subscribe if this is your first time watching. And please do make sure to smash a like on the video. Thank you very much. Right. On the show today, we've got so much to get into. Obviously, we didn't have any videos yesterday, so apologies if you were looking for me yesterday. I was offline. On the show today, we're going to be talking about Guirassy, with a story coming out from Sky Sports in Germany in the last few hours saying that a deal is on for Guirassy. So we'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about the future of Jadon Sancho. Obviously, there was talk in the press about him potentially going to Borussia Dortmund, with Donyell Malen coming in return to us. But it looks like that will not be happening now. We will be giving you a bit of an update on what's going on with Jadon Sancho. And we will also be talking about Manchester United's pursuit of a shock target from Newcastle United. Now, this one isn't a player, so it might be a bit of a surprise for some of you. Lots of other stuff to get into on the show this morning as well, guys. So much Manchester United news going around at the moment. We will, of course, do a bit of a preview for the game against Bournemouth today. I want you guys to do me one favour as well. Get in the comment section now. Let me know what your score predictions are for today's match. And also, of course, have your say on all things Manchester United in the comment section. I always like to see what you guys have to say about United. So get in the comment section. Let me know your score prediction for the game today, and let me know your thoughts on everything we discuss on today's show. Right, let's start off with Jadon Sancho then. So obviously, for anybody who's been living under a rock, there was a story that came out yesterday morning saying that apparently Dortmund and Manchester United were meeting yesterday to discuss a move involving Jadon Sancho going to Dortmund and Donyell Malen coming to Manchester United. Now, since that happened, we've had Florian Pletterberg, who is, of course, a very, very reliable German Sky Sports journalist, reporting that a swap deal for Jadon Sancho and Donyell Malen is very unlikely at this stage. Now, I think the problem with this deal for me is I would probably do it. I would, because I think if Jadon's not going to play football, then you may as well get somebody who's willing to play football. But the big issue here is obviously Jadon's wages. Jadon's on £250,000 a week at the moment at Manchester United, right? Which is absolutely ridiculous. Nobody is going to pay him that type of money ever again, in my opinion. Whereas if you flip that over to Donyell Malen, he is only on around 100,000. So even if Manchester United swapped Sancho for Malen, it's still going to be an issue for Dortmund in relation to the wages. You know, they're going from a player on about 100,000 to a player on 250,000. Now, there obviously is the potential that maybe Jadon would be happy to accept a reduced wage, but we know what, from what we're hearing about Jadon's attitude, he probably wouldn't do that, would he? He'd probably want his full pay, which is 250 grand a week. So I can see why this issue doesn't make sense for Dortmund. Yes, they want Jadon Sancho, but from what I'm hearing this morning, they want to do a loan deal, which again makes no sense for Manchester United. So I think that this one might just kind of disappear into thin air, and it will be another one of those players that we were linked to that never happened. So I think that one we can put on ice for the time being. But off the back of this story yesterday about the potential swap deal, the same journalist, Florian Pletterberg, again, very, very reliable on the Bundesliga, Sky Sports journalist over in Germany. He is now reporting that apparently Jadon Sancho's desire is for a restart opportunity at Manchester United. Now, we spoke about this on the show a couple of weeks ago, and I said to you that I just have this feeling that Jadon Sancho is waiting or hoping that Erik ten Hag will get sacked. And I think that it's backfired now because obviously we got that really, really impressive win against Chelsea. I hope and pray we beat Bournemouth today. And I think if that happens, Erik ten Hag's job is secure, to be honest, because nobody's expecting us to beat Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? I think if we'd have lost against Chelsea and lost against Bournemouth today, I think he probably would have got sacked by January, because the next run of fixtures after that are very, very difficult. But I think our performances are looking better. You know, we've just beaten Chelsea quite convincingly. It should have been more than 2. It should have been at least 4 or 5. Obviously, Bournemouth today, I would expect will win. Bayern Munich on Wednesday night will be a very difficult match, but they've got nothing to play for. So in theory, I think we probably will get a result, even if that's only a draw. Whether, obviously, that won't then be enough to get us to the Champions League next round, but I don't think we'll lose against Bayern next week, to be honest with you. Obviously, after that, you've got Liverpool away, which I think, I mean, if we drew, I'd be absolutely buzzing. Obviously, if we won, I'd be in absolute shock. But I think we have got a bit of a free pass in that Liverpool game because we know that Liverpool away is difficult for every single team in football. It's never an easy game, regardless of who you are. So, I don't think any Manchester United fan is going into that Liverpool game expecting us to beat them 5-0, are they? So, yeah. And the reason I bring all this up is the story ultimately implies that Jadon wants a restart opportunity. Now, Erik ten Hag spoke to the press last night and he says Jadon knows what he has to do if he wants to come back. And that's ultimately that he has to come out and apologise. Is Jadon Sancho going to do that? I'm not sure. Do you think Jadon Sancho would do that? I don't know. I mean, it's been, 2 or 3 months now that he's not apologised. Why would he suddenly decide to apologise now? And would you welcome Jadon Sancho back if he did apologise? Or would you say that the deal is burnt? Al says, how do swap deals work when one guy earns 350 grand per week? Exactly, mate. Exactly. That's the issue, isn't it? Like, if they were both earning the same amount of money, you could make that happen. But they're not, so it doesn't really work. Malk says, I'm confident we'll beat Bournemouth. Somebody else in the chat says we're going to beat Bournemouth 4-0. CT80 says, I'd rather have Malen, to be honest, bro. Yeah, mate, I hear you. I do. I like Malen. He's a good player. Rajiv says, I want Malen, Boniface and Guirassy for Sancho, Rashford and Martial. Yeah, that sounds quite interesting. CT80 says, do you think Sancho will stay? I think he might apologise. I do. I think he might apologise and I think he might end up coming back. I don't want that to happen, but I just have a feeling that he will eventually apologise. If I'm him though, right, I would apologise and I would announce that I was donating all of the wages that I've robbed off Manchester United for the last 3 months to charity, because I think it's an absolute disgrace, the fact that he's refusing to play, refusing to apologise, and he's taken home, I think he's on 250 grand a week now because of the wages were reduced after the Champions League. But yeah, he needs to do something about it, because even on a fundamental level, like, to be earning that amount of money and refusing to play is a disgrace, you know? And I think that he needs to come out and just address that. And if I was him, I'd be like, right, I'm going to donate at least some of the money to charity, you know? He's earned all this money and he's effectively not even been working for it. Darren says the relationship is broken. Sancho just needs to move on to another club. I agree with you, mate, but the problem is, right, his wages are the issue. And I think even if you put him out on loan, Manchester United are still probably going to pay half of his wages, which I just think is an issue. Because Erik ten Hag was asked this exact question in the press conference last night. He was asked, is keeping Jadon Sancho the best option? You know, you're paying him all of this money per week, but he's not playing. Like, could you not spend that money in a better area? Could you not, you know, go and buy another player with that money? And the answer is yes. But Erik ten Hag ultimately just said it's an internal decision. It's an internal investigation. You know, he kept it very, he always keeps his cards very close to his chest. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think. The other clubs that are apparently interested in Jadon Sancho are Galatasaray, Dortmund, and apparently 2 Saudi Arabian clubs have also inquired. But from what I'm hearing this morning, Jadon Sancho doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia. I'll be honest, right? That would be the best decision for Manchester United, for us. If we could sell him outright to Saudi Arabia for 40, 50 million, that would be the best situation. I would be so happy. Because that 40, 50 million can go and be reinvested in another player. And obviously then you've saved his 250, 300, just the 350 grand a week wages. You know, you've probably made about 50 million on the transfer and you'd be saving probably 14 to 20 million a year in wages. That's the best situation. But obviously, if he doesn't want to go there, we can't force him. We've given him a contract. He's legally contracted to Manchester United. We can't just say, get out and throw him out, because that's not how it works in a contract. You know, he legally is entitled to be paid until the end of that contract. And Erik ten Hag was also asked if whether Jadon Sancho is still being paid whilst he's not playing. Erik ten Hag wasn't willing to answer the question, but I think it's pretty obvious that he's still being paid, to be honest. Do you not think? But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Hopefully we don't have to talk about Sancho ever again. Hopefully, you know, within the next month we have some clarity. Hopefully he leaves. we get some money for him and we go and reinvest that in another area. Let's move on to something a bit more positive then. Let's talk about this Stuttgart striker, Serhou Guirassy. A story broke this morning, in the early hours of this morning, again from Sky Sports Germany. And the headline is this: initial discussions have taken place between Manchester United and Serhou Guirassy's camp. Guirassy is now interested in joining Manchester United in January. The deal is hot. And then it goes on to say Manchester United are now in talks to sign Stuttgart striker Serhou Guirassy. So it looks like we are pursuing this deal. Obviously, he's got a release clause of 17.5 million euros, which is about 15 million pounds. He's been absolutely prolific in the Bundesliga this season. He's been unbelievable. Second highest goal scorer behind Harry Kane. 16 goals, 1 assist in 11 matches. I mean, that's a really, really good record, isn't it, for somebody 27 years of age. I think it's a good deal. I do, and I think it probably will happen, to be honest. I think for 15 million, you can't really go wrong, can you? He can play centre forward, striker, or left wing. So he gives you some options across that front three. Is he on the level of a Victor Osimhen? No. Is he on the level of a Kolo Muani type player or a Vlahovic? Probably not. But is he good enough to play for Manchester United? At the moment, I would probably say yes. Would he have got into the team, 10 years ago when you had people like Rooney and Ronaldo and all of them? Definitely not. But yeah, I'm relatively positive about this deal. I think it would be a good bit of business to do. And for £15 million, I think it's a no-brainer personally. Yeah, and the headline is here, right, is that he's not coming in as a replacement for Rasmus Højlund. He's coming in to help Rasmus Højlund. Rasmus Højlund is 20 years of age. This is his first year playing in a proper league, really. I mean, obviously, he played in the Serie A for 1 season, got 8 goals, but this is his first big opportunity, big opportunity in it, playing in the Champions League, playing in the Premier League. And there's always going to be an adjustment period. He's been absolutely banging the goals in the Champions League. He's the top goal scorer in the Champions League, but he's yet to score in the Premier League. And I just hope and pray that today is the day that Højlund gets his goal, because I feel bad for him. I do. He works so hard. He gives everything. He's a boyhood Manchester United fan. You know how much he loves the club. There's no doubt that he puts in the effort. There's no doubt that he's trying. He's getting in the right positions. But the ball just doesn't ever seem to find him. And that's obviously not his fault. That's the problem of the players around him, not, putting the ball into him, not finding him in the space and all the rest of it. Let me just have a sip of my drink. I've got a bit of a tickly throat. Everybody smash a like on the video if you haven't already, please. And please do subscribe to the channel. We're only 25 subscribers away from 21,000 now, guys. So let's try and hit that by the end of the video. Go and hit subscribe now, and let's see if we can hit 21,000. Right. Okay, let's crack on with the rest of the show, though. Let me know what you think about Guirassy, though. Is he somebody you want to see at Manchester United? Yes or no? Get in the comment section below. Midas says, Osimhen has 6 goals in the Serie A and we want to pay 150 million. I didn't realise he's been that poor this season. I know, obviously, Napoli have had a bit of a slower season, haven't they? They lost their manager. They lost quite a few of their best players, didn't they? Where are Napoli in the league? Yeah, I mean, he's only got 6 goals this season. What's he called? Victor Osimhen. He's got no goals in the Champions League, 6 goals in 14 matches. Like, it's not a terrible return, but for, like you said, for 150 million, that is a hell of a lot of money for somebody who's only got 6 goals in 14 matches in all competitions. Like, it's not great, is it? But yeah. Right, let's see what people are saying in the chat quickly. Florian says, can Amad Diallo play as a midfielder instead of Bruno Fernandes? I don't know, mate, to be honest, but I'm not sure about that. Al says, are you convinced about Guirassy? Hasn't he only had half a good season? I'll be honest with you, mate. Is Guirassy good enough for Manchester United? At this moment in time, yes. Is he my dream striker? No. Do I think he's world class? No. Do we need another striker? Yes. Can we afford to buy a £100 million striker? No. For 15 million, is he a good bit of business? Yes. So overall, I think the black and white of it is, right, if he didn't have a release clause, they'd want 40 million, I reckon, minimum euros, right? So for 17.5, I think it's an absolute no-brainer. I really, really do. I think it's a no-brainer. I wouldn't be giving him like a 5 or 6 year contract. I'd probably give him like a 2 or 3 year contract, see how he gets on. If he has a good year, maybe give him a new deal. I would keep it like that. I'm just having a look at his stats last year. He got 11 goals in 22 matches last season in the Bundesliga. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. That's a goal every other game in the Bundesliga. Like that's decent. When you think, yeah, I'm happy with that. I think he's putting up good stats. He's proven that he can do it in the Bundesliga. He's playing for Stuttgart, which, as far as I'm aware, aren't like the best team in the Bundesliga, are they? Like they're a good team, but they're not on the level of Dortmund or Bayern Leverkusen. Yeah, they're kind of up there though, aren't they? They're in that kind of top 4, top 5 area, but they're not a Bayern Munich or a Leverkusen. They're around that area, but a little bit below. Let's see what else people are saying. Loads of people are saying that Boniface is a better option. I'll be honest with you, mate. I don't really know that much about Boniface. I know he's been doing quite well for Bayern Leverkusen, but let's have a little look at him. So Boniface has got 8 goals in 13 matches. I mean, the thing with Boniface, mate, right? I like him. 22 years of age. But he doesn't have this release clause or anything. So let's put this into context. If Manchester United wanted to sign Victor Boniface, right, they'd probably want 50, 60 million. So answer me this. What would you rather have? Boniface for 50, 60 million or Guirassy for 15 million pounds? Like, I would choose Guirassy because we don't have 50, 60 million. We need a centre-back. We need potentially a new midfielder if Casemiro goes. We need another winger if Sancho goes. We need a striker. Like, we need probably 4 or 5 more players. We'll be lucky to get 1 or 2 in this window. So we've got to live within our means. And I'll be honest, like, Victor Boniface is not my dream striker signing. I would rather get someone like Guirassy, give him a 2 or 3 year contract, see how he gets on. Don't give him ridiculous wages. If he does well, maybe give him a new contract. But a 3 year contract would see him until he's 30. Like, I would do that. I think for £15 million, that's a good bit of business, even if he is just a backup to what's he called? To Højlund. Somebody says Anthony, Højlund, Garnacho should be our front three going forward. What do you think, Kieran? Mate, 100%. 100%. That's my front three. It has to be that today. Obviously, the headline is that Marcus Rashford is apparently injured. Sorry, not injured. He's ill. So Rashford will not be available for the game today against Bournemouth. So we will see that front three again. The Garnacho, Højlund and Anthony. And I'm really excited about that. I really, really enjoyed that game against Chelsea. It was the first time in ages that I felt entertained. I felt like we were playing attacking football, and I really enjoyed what I saw. So I think the squad needs to be exactly the same. I think Amrabat needs to play again. I would probably put Luke Shaw as the left-sided centre-back. I think that worked a lot better. Reguilon at left-back. I'd keep Dalot in at right-back. I thought he had a good game. Obviously, Maguire stays in the team. Scott McTominay has to stay in the team because he's getting goals. He scored 2 goals for us. Whether you think Kobe Mainoo should start, whether you think Scott McTominay's not good enough, we can't deny the fact that Scott McTominay is scoring goals and he's contributing. Do I want him to be a Manchester United player for the next 5-10 years? Probably not. But in this current moment, Harry Maguire and McTominay are 2 of our best players based on performance, okay? I'm not saying they're our actual best players, but based on their current form, based on what they're offering to the team, based on their contribution to the team, they are undroppable. Whether we like it or not, they are undroppable. And I just want to give a big, big shout out to Erik ten Hag, who won the Manager of the Month for November, Harry Maguire, who won the Player of the Month. Now, I'm not talking about Player of the Month just for Manchester United. This is across the whole league. Harry Maguire was the Premier League Player of the Month, and Garnacho won the Goal of the Month. So we took all 3 awards for November. So absolutely buzzing for the boys and for Erik ten Hag. Yeah, really, really happy about that. Let's see what else people are saying in the chat. Fred says, "What's your email address, mate?" I will drop it in the chat for you now. I've just popped it in the chat. It's just dailyreddevil, all one word, at gmail.com. Let me know if that's all right. I think it's in, if you go on YouTube as well, in the about section, I think it's on there as well. So if that doesn't work for whatever reason, have a look on the YouTube Daily Red Devil page on YouTube and you'll be able to find it on there. Right, let's move on to the final story before we wrap up the show. And this story I really, really like. And it's about a director of football, and it's this. So Dave Brailsford, is trying to convince Newcastle sporting director Dan Ashworth to join him at Manchester United. Brailsford and Ashworth are close, with their relationship going back many, many years. So for anybody who doesn't know who Dan Ashworth is, I would give, I don't want to say all of this success, because obviously Eddie Howe has been really, really good there, but he's the person who's come in and changed Newcastle. He's their director of football, and he's unbelievable. He is. He's really, really good. Obviously, he was at Brighton before that. I'm gonna read out some of the players that he discovered at Brighton. Obviously, we know how good Brighton's recruitment has been. So he discovered people like, let's have a look what we've got here. He was there for 3 seasons, I believe. And he was very much responsible for bringing in all of those kind of players that went on to be sold for lots and lots of money. Let's have a look. So he brought in people like Moises Caicedo, Lamptey, who else? Marc Cucurella from Getafe, Mope. Like he discovered maybe 5 or 6 of these players and got them for really, really small amounts of money. Cucurella, they sold for 70 million. I think he bought him for about 10. Moises Caicedo, he bought for 4.5 million. He sold for 100 million. Like, he is one of the best directors of football around. And I would be really, really excited if Dan Ashworth came in. So, yeah, that's my take on it. But let me know in the comment section, guys, who would you like to be the director of football? Would you like it to be Dan Ashworth? Do you want Jean-Claude Blanc? I'm excited by both of these names. Al says, have we just given up on signing the young, brilliant Brazilian striker? I assume you mean Marcus Leonardo, mate. That story's gone completely quiet. It has. Nothing whatsoever about Marcus Leonardo. I don't know why, because I was quite excited about him. I know Roma are really interested in signing him. I'll keep you updated if I get any news about it, but at the moment, it's looking very, very quiet. I'm just having a quick look now. Yeah, I mean, it's so quiet around him. You do just have to wonder whether, with stuff like this, whether, you know, it's more coming from the agent side. Florian Plettenberg, the journalist we spoke about earlier, has just gone out with another story about Guirassy, and it does look like this deal is moving forward. He says the deal is still at an early stage with no verbal agreement yet. Guirassy is open for concrete talks with Manchester United. His original plan remains the same, to stay at Stuttgart until the summer. Okay, well, of course he's going to say that to begin with. And he does confirm that Guirassy has been inquired about by Manchester United. They are now aware of all the financial details and are speaking to the player. So I think this one probably will happen. If Manchester United want this deal to happen, I imagine it probably will happen. I'm going to wrap the video up here, though, guys. Obviously, I will be live later on today. We've got the big match against Bournemouth. I'm really, really hopeful that we're going to go and beat them, put in a good performance, and see us really, really nice into that massive clash against Bayern Munich on Wednesday. Please do smash a like on the video before you leave, everybody. And please do subscribe to the channel. We're only like 20 subscribers away from 21,000 now. So please do go and subscribe if you haven't already. Doesn't cost any money. And I hope everyone has a lovely Saturday, and I'll speak to you all a little bit later.